Yo guys, Namaskaram, back again with our videos on the English channel. So today's topic is NPCs being a disease in your life. On the outset, it might seem that we are terming people without even understanding where they come from, what is their context. Okay. Hold your horses because at the end, when all of this is over, you know, all the people whose judgment you feared, they all would pass away. And in the end, you would just be lying there on your deathbed with regrets that the opinions whom I valued so much, it hardly matters now because I know I wasted my life. So, NPCs, those of you who don't know, are basically the non-playing characters. So if you are in a game, I'm assuming all of you might have played GTA Vice City or a game of that sort, wherein you have the control of the main character, and then you see on the side there are all these people and everything walking, running by a script, even the policemen and everything. So those of you who have played Vice City, let's say if you delete a person in the game, all of them are just walking, and in their own written pre-coded scripts, you delete a person, a police comes, they follow you for some time, and then you just escape when those stars go down. So all of them are basically following scripts, and it's no more the same in real life as well, because a lot of people you see around, we just live on borrowed opinions, identities, without even thinking, without even questioning that where is it that my beliefs are coming from? What is it that I want to take a stand for in life? What is it that speaks to my heart? What are some non negotiables in my life? All of that goes for a toss, and then we end up in these relationships where you see that the story of every relationship is almost quite the same, which I feel is quite comical and idiotic, because all of us have picked these ideas of how a good relationship should be from movies without even entering real relationship ourselves. And then in the news, when you see that how people end up simping for their partners and then end up getting deleted, that is what precisely would happen if you take your frame of reference, let's say for relationship, from movies, the common mainstream. Because see, the idea is all of them have the last laugh. The idea that a director makes a movie is so that he or she can get a good return on that movie. And a good return is only possible when that product, the movie that he or she is making, is being sold to a large multitude of people. How many enlightened, or let's say critical thinkers, do you see in your normal day to day life? The director also knows that. Then he picks up this data point and pattern that what are the most common stories that these people are being fed on from centuries. Let me just make my money. Let me just make a fool out of these idiots. And you see how many of your people are, or let's say the common day to day so called friends, are going to those cinemas, wasting their money on these useless movies, which hardly communicate anything of worth and value. So there was this recent trend, I'm sure all of you are aware of it, that when a certain movie came out, how people are crying for their lovers in theaters and things like that. That is also an NPC behavior, wherein you're just picking up the general trend without thinking that okay, what is it that I want to do. So instead of being the main character in your life, you're run by all these scripts that have been fed into you by your parents, teachers, or whatnot from society. So I think the idea is that whenever you're wanting to build some real life skills, whenever you're wanting to walk a different path, don't share that with NPCs around, because they would just activate their own zombie within, and then they would try to infect you with their shallow energy, with their negative energy, that there's no point in doing this. So you all might have seen a movie where like, all these zombies are there, and there are like these non-affected characters, and one by one, whenever they are being affected or being cut, or let's say that virus goes into their bloodstream, they also end up becoming like zombies. So if you share a lot of your dreams and ambitions with NPCs, I'm sure that not a lot of you have that, you can say, resistance to withstand their criticism, withstand their pressure to not drop your thing. You'll end up being affected by the virus of mediocrity. There's nothing wrong being a mediocre person, but at least for your dreams, the things that really matter to you, in those pursuits, I think it's very important that you just push the pedal, push the accelerator, see how far you can go. And all the more, it's very important. I'm sure that a lot of this philosophy exists, that share your goals with everyone, that would help in accountability and things like that. It's good for the initial fun, for the initial kick, but the true hallmark of a person or a strong man is how much resilient he can be without seeking approval or validation from the society that, look, I'm doing so and so good things. So I think the idea is just deleting all NPCs from your vicinity. By deleting here, I mean cutting contact, not physically going and harming them. Just protecting your dreams, because your dreams take precedence over everything. Because at the end, trust me when I say this, a lot of people end up with regrets. All of us would have regrets, but the point is just to minimize those regrets in the service of our dreams. So in the next video, I would just talk about a nuance that a lot of us face when we are, let's say, going in these pursuits of dreams, related on being a selfish person and things like that. But anyway, I think that would be it. Do check out my Hindi channel as well, wherein I just upload content for a typical, if I can use the word, boy or londa, to just help them with problems of lust and things like that. But anyhow, do let me know what you feel about this video. What type of work have you done? What limitations have you broken? Just write it down in the comment section, and I'll catch you in the next video. So until then, this is Debu Ki Dastak signing off. You take care. Cheers.